Alright, this video is going to be a comedy of my internet. Watch this latency as I make this video, if I can even make the video. It is 115 in Chandler, Arizona today, and the internet does not like the heat here. Whenever the heat picks up, because of Cox's shitty infrastructure, this internet is going to be dropping out all over the place, and it's going to be a comedy of errors. So let's check it out. I am rocking a Void Sphere of Rendering. I really like this skill. First off, it sounds awesome. I will shut my trap and let's just listen to some Void Sphere. Got that deep bass. That whoa, whoa. It is spectacular. Now, I am pairing this Void Sphere of Rendering with Hydrosphere, and I can't talk today, and saying Void Sphere and Sphere is really hard to say over and over and over again. So I'm doing Hydrosphere and Void Sphere. One of the cool things about this little combo is the Void Sphere will kind of suck up this Hydrosphere, so you keep your two little balls right next to each other where they should be. Your balls should always be right next to each other. They can gather more heat, and they can do a lot more damage. When you pull them apart, it also kind of hurts, so you don't want to do that. Now, I am rocking my Void Sphere in what I view as my favorite combination. We have Empower, we have Ice Bite, Increased Area of Effect, the Awakened kind, Power Charge on Critical Strike, the Void Sphere, and Critical Damage Support. Now, Critical Damage Support could probably get replaced with something else, but I'm leaving it in there because I like the big crits. The big crits make my wiener go hard. Now, we have Shimmeron. One of the main reasons I like this build is I get to use a Shimmeron. Who gets to use a Shimmeron? I get to use a Shimmeron. And Shimmeron gives you plus 10 to critical strike multiplier per power charge. And I have 13 of those bad boys on this build. Now, it says your skills have dealt critical strikes recently. You take 200 lightning damage per second per power charge. So that is a lot of lightning damage over time that you're going to be taking, and I really don't think you can mitigate it with your absorption charges. I don't think you're getting any benefit there, but the absorption charges are nice to help you keep your ES up. Now, I am rocking Ravenous Passion to give me rage, and then that rage is going to apply to my spells and my, just my spells. I don't know what I'm saying, and, cast speed instead of attack speed, and then spell damage instead of attack damage. Okay, so the effects of rage basically apply to your spells. There are several better helmets to use, but I like the extra rage because I'm using the Ralakesh Impatience, which has no movement speed on it. Now, I have a lot of movement speed, but that all comes from this body armor that gives me 6% movement speed per frenzy charges, and I have 13 of those. So that's where I'm getting my movement speed. The rage helps with the movement speed, and the way this build works, the movement speed is actually kind of important because you're going to be double balling. You double ball, you blink, and then you run. So ball, blink, run, ball, blink, run, ball, black sheep. That's how you play the build. Now, I have a cast when damage taken with skill skin. On my Hydrosphere, I'm doing increased critical damage support, power charge, Ice Bite. Ice Bite's a champion in all of these builds. And on this bad boy, I got this for 10 Divine. It got plus 1 to power charge, golden, but also plus 2 to level of cold gems, which is going to work for Ice Bite and Hydrosphere, which is spectacular because Ice Bite is so powerful. So damn powerful with 13 frenzy charges that it's nuts. And that's why I'm not doing Void Sphere how you should probably do it, because it converts 40% of physical damage to chaos damage, which is kind of wasted. But we're already getting a pump up on this physical damage, but we're not pumping up chaos damage at all. So that 40%, it's just kind of going into the trash. We can look at our damage numbers. We are doing all damage. We are doing physical, fire, cold, lightning, and chaos. And if there's another damage type that I'm unaware of, we're doing that motherfucker too. We are doing all of the damage. It is basically a fully unique build. You got this guy, which is going to turn your power charges into frenzy charges, and then along with the Slayer, those frenzy charges are then going to turn into endurance charges, so we have all of our charges up. Let's take a look at this bad boy. This is going to give us 2 power charges and 16% increased spell damage per power charge. Really nice shield, and the downside of it is completely negated because we're using both this pair of boots and this belt. Now, these pair of boots and this belt allows you to get power charges, frenzy charges, endurance charges at maximum count at all times, and you're also getting affliction charges, but not at maximum charges. And that's part of the reason I'm using power charge on critical strike, because those are going to give me, I keep saying affliction, I'm going to say it for the rest of the video, absorption charges. I say affliction charges because I used that belt just a while ago, and so it's stuck in my head. Absorption charges. You're going to get those from this bad boy. But on top of that, you do 4% more damage per power charge, and I have 13 of those. So this is just a good support gem all the way around. All right. Then we got this bad boy, which is mirroring this ring here. And we're only using this ring here because it has +1 to maximum power charges. It even has cold damage on attack. I just don't feel like re-rolling it. I could do better than this, but this is perfectly acceptable. Double res, energy shield, crit multiplier, life. I don't really care about the dead node that is the attacks, cold damage to attack, right? I mean, if I put something else on there, it'd be a lot better, but I don't really care. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Nothing special here. This is for my attack build. It just has all the 7s. You want all the 7s because this skill starts at physical. And so it's going to do the 7% increased physical damage, then the 7% increased elemental damage, and then the 7% increased spell damage. This glove increases our damage by so damn much. It's definitely best in slot. You're going to want to use this bad boy. A lot of this is up to preference, but the Shimmeron, I feel, is the champion because of the 10% crit multi. Now, I'm mostly just rambling on now, hoping that the internet will kind of fix itself as I run into this ultra juiced up map. This map is so thick. It is so juicy. Let's run it. And you can see, if you like the Void Sphere of Rendering in combination with the Hydrosphere, I think it's spectacular. I think it's awesome. We're going to be doing some extra breaches, some hunted traders. I don't know what that is. 40% increased magic size, and more rare monsters. So this is going to be a pretty thick T16 map. Let's see what we got here. Gain experience, upgraded rare, whatever. I don't know why I even read those. Dead League is dead. The more you have to read in a league, the worse the league is. The less reading you have to do in a league, the better the league is. These are just facts. But man, I really like this. This whole build is pretty awesome to me. I think it's spectacular. There's a bit of a mana issue, but it's fixed when as long as you're killing things, you get mana on death because of, I grabbed one of those passive skills. It's gonna keep your mana up, which is gonna be pretty tight. And keep this dope build running. Now, if you want, you could pretty much use your Frostblink as your damage dealer because it's doing quite a bit of damage as well, but not as much as Void Sphere and Hydrosphere. Let's just look at some of the flats. We got 2.3 mil there, we got 1.3 mil there, and that's just on the flats. I'm not running any curses because I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I even have an open slot. I could throw a curse right in there. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing none of that. I'm going to run it curse free because that's the way to be. Curse free in 2023. And I'm not going to say 2024 because that doesn't rhyme, right? Curse free in 2024? Nah, curse free in 2023. Because you got to rhyme. Because if you're not going to rhyme, then you have no reason. If you have no reason, then you got no rhyme. If you got no rhyme, you got no reason, then you got no reason to play this game and rhyme. Well, okay, we got a big boy boss here. Let's hit him with both my balls. Hit him with a couple blinky blinks. You can see the mana kind of taking in effect here. Gets a little bit nasty with the mana. But the extra damage that the Shimmeron is doing, you can see it's kind of hurting my energy shield, but not that much. It's kind of surprising that the Shimmeron is not wrecking my Rimmeron, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's kind of surprising. Because I do have 13 charges, which is meaning that the Shimmeron is doing 2,600 lightning damage over time if I've crit recently. And that's a lot of lightning damage over time. Let's go. Might as well go in these little holes here. Let's go in these little holes. I'll let them open it up. Why is that all special? Like, it's just a large cluster tool. What's that, like 5C? Now, there's multiple ways you can cast these bad boys. Right now, I'm doing a 3 and a 4. And I'm just hitting the 3 and the 4 at the same time, and it's going to eventually cast it. And I also have it on right click. and my thumb button is holding down the Frostblink. So my thumb is holding down the Frostbeak, index finger is holding down the move. So it's just frost blinking, and then it's moving, and then I'll hit 3 and 4 to cast the spell. It's really smooth. It's really smooth. Now, if you don't want to use the Rage Helmet, you can do the Auto Cast Helmet, which would also be pretty cool, because then you're throwing out your Void Spheres, and those Void Spheres are casting the Hydrosphere, and you do a one-click situation. But I've had enough one-click situations that I am enjoying the double spell / triple spell situation that's going on. And it's just too bad that it can't be a little more selective with your audio cues. So I turn off all the audio but the Void Sphere, but you can't even hear the awesome sounds of the Void Spheres because of the sound of all the other things that's going on, like your damage sounds and all that jazz. If you wanted to slip Discharge in here, you could, but I think Discharge is a bit wonky. I think it's a bit whack. I'm not a huge fan of Discharge. It does a lot of damage, and it's big, and it's satisfying, but casting it just has this really weird, like, stutter to it. There's like a stutter step, and I feel like sometimes the Discharge doesn't go off because of that stutter. So I wasn't a huge fan of that Discharge build, but you could totally pop it in here. Or you could pop in Ball Lightning of Static. It's just too bad that it doesn't work with Unleash. If Ball Lightning of Static worked with Unleash, you can let you get triple stack of that, and you drop a triple stack of balls right on their face. That internet stutter. Doing great so far. Come on, let's cross our toes and balls for this internet to keep going. We are doing a fantastic little showcase here with my double nut. And the playstyle is really fun. It kind of feels like playing, I forget her name, Oriana from League of Legends, the little ball chick where you gotta throw your balls around and make them hit shit. It's kind of dope. It's kind of dope. I like it. I don't know how... Oh, the boss is right down here. I was like, I don't really know how to get to that boss. But it is right there. Let's play a little slower, right? Let's do Void Sphere, swing that ball over there, Void Sphere, and let's pull this ball around a little. Come on, pull the ball around. See, sometimes it pulls the ball around, other times it don't. It's like that, the AoE is just a little too small on the Void Sphere. Now, if I were to give the Void Sphere a rating, it would probably be a 9. It's really nice to have this Void Sphere that you can cast far more rapidly than the old version. But the AoE does need to pump up. I have a lot of AoE too. Because of the way I'm running my build, I have this node right here, 3% increased area of effect per endurance charge, 13 of those bad boys. And on top of that, I'm running Awaken increased area of effect. So I have quite a bit of increased area of effect. I could grab these bad boys here for even more increased area of effect, but it kind of feels like I'm not getting any benefit out of increasing my area of effect. So that was a basic T16. T16s are pretty easy. Let's hop into the delve. Let's hop into the delve. Do a little bit of delve. I think my delve is a little bit deep, a lot deeper than I normally get. I don't want to fight that boss with this build. I could. Actually, yeah, we do want to see what it can do to a boss, so I will fight this boss. I don't really want to fight the boss because I know the internet's going to disconnect, and it's also not exactly designed for bossing, but it's always nice to see what that single target looks like. And I should have grabbed one of my marks, the assassin mark, to put me at 100% critical strike chance. Because right now I'm at 88% or something like that because of the Shimmeron. Shimmeron gives you some really nice crit when you have 13 charges. When you have 13 charges, it's pretty nice. And I have Arcane Surge on my blink, my frost blink. I mean, I don't really need to run from you, I don't think. Just stand here and charge on you. I do want a frost blink though to get that increased mana. 10% shock is kind of disappointing. I think I'm getting that from my flask. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad for bossing. Well, these bosses do have a lot of health. And I guess I can just stand here and just take everything he's throwing at me, so maybe it's not so bad at bossing. I never know if I want to let these guys hit me, or if I want to let them... I don't know what I want to do with these guys. I think I'm just going to let them hit me. Right? I don't know if I'm supposed to let them hit these things, or not supposed to let them hit these things. I don't really know. I've only fought a couple of these bosses. I don't usually delve too much. And this is taking too long. You can see... Thank God he killed me. You can see it's pretty good... I mean, it's pretty good for AoE. It's not that great for bossing. You'd probably want to put a mark or a curse on, which would help a lot. Punishment's a good one. That's a universal. It's going to work for all your element types. Elemental penetration is pretty nice as well. Cold pin is also pretty great because a lot of your damage is cold. And then obviously Assassin Mark is probably my go-to just because it'll put you at 100% crit chance. Let's have some fun, and let's just keep everybody right here, right and tight, right and tight. And dead. I was kind of just standing there letting him do it. So, you don't really want to play any high-end content with this bad boy because of the Shimmeron, but it is really good at T16 content. Or you can move around and not stand in one spot and let things punch you in the face over and over again. But if you're moving around and not letting stuff punch you in the face, are you really playing this game right? I don't think so. The best way to play this game is get to the point where you can let everything punch you in the face and you just take it over and over and over again. So let's run another... Let's do a T17. Why not? I got fucking 5 sanctuaries. Cast these before I forget. Area effect I can do. Monster damage I can do. Gain frenzy charge I can do. Less recovery rate I don't want to do. I probably can do it, but with the Shimmeron rocking, I don't really want to do that. Spell Savess, buffs, ignite, ES, accuracy, expire fast, reflect, life, crit, charges, hexproof, possessed. Players have 50%. I'm the 50% less AoE. I can't abide by that. Damage multiplied by the remaining hits to that player and their allies with 1.8 meters. I have no fucking clue what that means. This is a big part of why this damage multiplied by the remaining hits to the players and their allies within 1.8 meters. Damage multiplied by their remaining hits to that player and their allies within 1.8 meters. What the fuck does that mean? Damage multiplied by their remaining hits. What the fuck does their remaining hits mean? The fuck? Their remaining hits. Does that mean like when you're using multi-strike and you have 3 hits and there's 2 hits remaining? The fuck? What the fuck? You couldn't think of a more convoluted way to say that if you tried. I don't even know what the fuck that means. When a 5th impale is inflicted on a player, impales are removed to reflect their physical damage. Oh shit, never mind, I wasn't reading. It's a 2-liner, right? This is a 1-liner. Wait, is there a way to figure out? Okay, yeah, I can hold this alt and see that it's a 2-liner. When a 5th... This is the first time seeing this. When a 5th impale is inflicted on a player, impales are removed to reflect their physical damage multiplied by the remaining hits to that player and the allies within 1.8 meters. Okay, the remaining hits is still a confusing word. It should say damage multiplied by their remaining impales on that player, not necessarily hits, because I don't think you consider an impale stack a hit stack. So if they have 7 impales and you hit them, are they taking 8 hits? Is each impale considered a hit? I don't know, probably. and you probably just got to understand the nuances of their fucking language. Okay, but I think this should be good. Monster has 50% chance to a block attack. I'm not attacking. That crit is dangerous, but should be fine. Minions, enfeeble. Yeah, let's run this. I'm gonna get wrecked. Gonna get wrecked on it, but we'll run it. We'll see what these orbs can do in a T17. And the build is just generally pretty damn fun to play. I do say so myself. You're blinking around, you're throwing orbs at everybody. These people talking smack, you just kind of give them an orb right to the face. And if you move around enough, it's pretty tanky. Right? I died on both of those instances in the Dell because I was just holding still, trying to let the orbs, you know, fuck with bitches. But if you're moving around, you can do a better job of surviving. The Shimmeron keeping your ES down is a big no-no because I have only 3,100 life. That 2,000 energy shield does a great job to protect me, but I need absorption charges to be pumping that bad boy up. I have ES Leech, but that Shimmeron is doing a lot of damage over time. There are a couple things that reduce damage over time overall. And if you can get some of those, it might help. Or you can just get rid of the Shimmeron, but I think the Shimmeron is important, right? If you're going to play a build, you might as well meme it up. Play something that no one's playing. No one's playing Shimmeron, despite the fact that Shimmeron was 50C. Kind of crazy that I had to pay 50C for a Shimmeron to get the 10% crit per power charge. But I did have to pay 50C. Oh, I didn't even see what I got hit by. Probably chaos damage, right? Was it chaos damage? It was chaos damage. I'm just going to assume it was chaos damage. I don't know for a fact it was chaos damage, but I know for a fact it was chaos damage. Because I don't have a lot of chaos resistance. So to make this Void Sphere a 10 out of 10, I think they do need to increase the AoE. The base AoE, the suck range, they need to increase the suck range. And then if they do that, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 skill. As it is now, not so much. It's like a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'm keeping it 9 out of 10 is because it starts with the physical base. And that physical base is really nice, especially for a power charge build, because you can stack up layers of damage types. You can pump up your physical damage and pump up your chaos damage if you want to just do fizz and chaos, and you'll be double dipping on that shit. And the Void Sphere is just cool, right? I like the double sphere. It's kind of rad. But Ball Lightning of Static is probably better with it. Because that Ball Lightning of Static is pretty dope. And you can get 3 of them out at once, so for bossing, it's definitely doing more damage. I might pop it on after I fight this boss and get wrecked. I'm pretty sure the boss is influenced or corrupted or whatever it's called on this one. I can't remember if that was this roll or the previous one. Enfeeble, explosive radius, block, impel, more currency. No, I don't. It's the boss isn't corrupted. No, it's the previous one. Now to showcase, I'm not going to throw any like wild scares in there and do any currency strategies. I don't even remember the currency strategies because I've kind of just dipped out of this game for quite a while doing some Elden Ring prep because that game is going to be awesome. And I usually have no faith Actually, you know what? It's not big. I do think FromSoft has proven themselves the ability to make banger content, banger games on every release. They haven't missed. They haven't missed once. You fucking Dark Souls 2 haters, you sit the fuck down, because Dark Souls 2 is still better than 99.9% of all games in that genre. The only thing better than Dark Souls 2 is Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. Dark Souls 2 is better than Lies of P. It just is. But Lies of P falls right after that. So there's that anime weeaboo one that I haven't played. It might be pretty good, but I think it's probably better simply because it likely has a coherent story that you can follow. So if you're into story shit, that anime weeaboo shit, it might be better. I forget what it's called, but it's got pretty good reviews while it lasted. Alright, so I'm gonna open a portal here, and when I die, then I'll grab Assassin Mark and throw Assassin Mark on these boys and Ball Lightning. But if I can clear it without dying, that'd be pretty nice. What'd I get hit by? Did these things hit me? Yeah, I think those things hit me. I never know what I get hit by in this game, ever. Because I ain't paying attention. I'm paying attention to my balls. I ain't paying attention to what's coming right at my face, unless it's my balls. Let's see what we got here. Assassin Mark. Let's just do that one. Ass. Really? I don't have Assassin Mark? Where the fuck is my Assassin Mark? Oh, I have it here from when I was doing a melee build. I don't need any of this jazz. Actually, I can get me a little more mana back, I think. Yeah, none of my builds are fine-tuned or highly tweaked. I'm mostly presenting ideas. Just little ideas that you can work off of. You can just kind of see how the build looks, how the build's working. Alright, let's put the Assassin Mark there. Let's give an Assassin Mark a shot. Oh crap, I was going to do Ball Lightning too. Instead of Hydrosphere. Instead of double nutting on this guy, I can do a single nut. Actually, I'd be quad nutting. So let's hit him with this mark, hit him with the mark. I didn't see that. But now I can put Ball Lightning on. Let's see. Hydrosphere, let's throw you on the side. Kind of sucks because it's not a cold skill. I could do Frost Bomb. In fact, I could do Hydrosphere, Frost Bomb. Yeah, I'm going to do both. I'm going to get crazy with it. So let's do Frost Bomb. Frost Bomb. Boom. And let's put Frost Bomb. We got 2. We'll do Frost Bomb on 2. There we go. So now we got triple skill. So we're going to do 2, 3, 4 in rapid succession. I'll pump up some rage real quick by casting all my spells before I head in there. Alright, we're raged up. Alright, let's see if we can pay attention and move around instead of just holding still. Oh, I can't stand on these little spinny things. There's just too much shit. These bosses are not fun. I'm trying to cast 3 spells at once and move around at the same time when I have to pay attention to all this fucking nonsense. And you got all these dog shit mods. Yeah, these T16s are a bust. They're fun at first, but to like run them on the reg, they suck. And I don't know if I can hit that guy or if I'm supposed to hit this guy. Yeah, it's a bust. It's a bust. I'm over it. Why would I fight a boss that isn't fun to fight? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's just have more fun fighting shit that's actually fun to fight. Oh, but I guess the map is mostly done, so I'll go in there and give him one more death. Give him one more death, one more. And the reason I put Frost Bomb on there, because my helmet has +2 to cold spills. Cold spills. We got a cold spill in aisle 2. See, like, you can't even dodge that. You can't even dodge that. There's nothing I could have done to dodge that. It's fucking, this is a terrible boss. It is a terrible boss. Look at this fucking nonsense. Terrible boss. T16s are awful. And let's fight a regular boss with this new setup that I got here. Let's go to my stuff. What kind of bosses am I rock? Shaper? Let's rock UberElder. Let's see if we can UberElder this biatch. UberElder this biatch. Oh, I don't know if I casted those any of the times I died, but whatever. Ugh. I kept trying to hit him with my my mark. I wasn't seeing it apply. Mark first. Okay. Now we're working with you. Hit you with a mark. Try to pay attention to the shaper balls. Then we gotta go in his little fucking lame ass circle. Have some circle fun. See, this fight, you can pay attention to what's happening. You can kind of follow what's going on. And you can, this is just a good fight. This fight's a good fight. It's tough, it's fair, you know what's happening, you know their movesets, you know what's gonna happen. You can kind of play around it. Oh, I just got slowed by something, though. I don't know what the hell I just got slowed by. I think he was, like, trying to grab me, and the animation was slowed down. Can't really see which one I'm supposed to be hitting. It's probably Shaper because he's in this little ball form. It's pretty nice because, yeah, I'm supposed to be hitting Shaper. For the most part, you can, if you really want to, you can lay your nut down and you can just run around and ignore everything as your nut does all the damage. If you really want to live that way, if you want to play that life. And if you were rich and you can afford a sin ring, whatever that original sin is, you got like a mirror shard, a mirror, whatever it is. I think it's a mirror now. That would do a lot of damage on this build. A lot. Should drop off Shimmeron to give the Void battery a shot so you can see how much the lightning damage is affecting me. Now the only real way the lightning damage affects me is it keeps my energy shield from being up, as I was talking about, and that makes it so that I only have 3,000 life whenever I take these hits that I would normally be able to just tank with ease. Oh, did I win? I didn't even realize I won. Ugh, gross. Didn't even get anything good. So it can boss pretty well. So let us drop Shimmeron. Main reason to play this build is the Shimmeron. Because it's cool to say Shimmeron, it's cool to be Shimmeron. Shimmeron, Shimmeru. Kobayashi Maru. I think I have my better Void Battery. I have 2 Void Batteries. One good, one okay. Okay. I don't want to search for it. I don't want to dig for it, so let's get the one that's in here. It's good enough. Oh shit. Never mind, never mind. Forgot that this takes 245 int that I don't got. We'll do more Shimmeran. I'm just gonna run a few more maps. Now that I have this frost creeping. Oh, I put the wrong. Fucking moron. I want Frost Bomb, not Creeping Frost. I mean, Creeping Frost is cool, but I wanted Frost Bomb, so we can do Frost Bomb, right? Then you put your nut on there, and then you put your other nut on there. So you got a triple stack. And when you're saying, oh, Frost Bomb's not doing that much damage, well, you know, it's doing 0.5 mil. And then your Hydrosphere is doing 700, and this is doing 1.5. And it's only going to go up as you run through. Let's do a tropical island in the sky. What do we got here? Oh, that's a thickie. That's a thick boy. Yeah, I can do that. Do that with Thick Rick. Thick Rick! More T17, yay. Probably ought to make a tanky build and do all my T17s all rapid fire so I can do some Ubers before Elven. I haven't really given much Ubers a shot just because of how much I don't really like the T17 experience. Having to constantly re-roll and then having to read. We all know I can't read. We all saw it. We all saw me not know that there was 2 lines involved and I was just reading the bottom line like a maroon. But I mean, when I'm learning the game, I want to have to read. But when I'm not learning the game and I'm just vibing, I'm just mapping, I really don't want to read. I feel it's unnecessary. Don't make me read shit. You know what game I don't have to read anything on, pretty much, is Elden Ring. Pick up weapon, hit thing with weapon, don't read. I have to read at work. I'm not at work anymore. I'm at home. I'm after work. I'm enjoying the game. Don't make me read. Don't make me go to a graveyard and fill it up with a bunch of different bodies that don't even turn into a big ass awesome body boss. Let's look at a revised version of these damage numbers. 600,000, 800,000, 1.9. Now normally you can't rely on the tooltip very well, but I'm not really using any curses. I'm not really using any marks, so you actually can kind of rely on the tooltip. It's pretty close to that. I have, because it's elemental damage, most of it, it's a little wonky because you have to take their resistances involved. And then I have that skill where 25% of the time it inverts the resistances. I'm using that instead of any type of resistance stripping. You can see when I'm in the thick of it, I got a lot of energy shield, but my energy shield dips down when I'm not in the thick of it, which is why this makes for a really good mapper and a pretty shit bosser, because you gotta really just constantly be in the thick of it to keep that ES up. And this was a pretty juicy map. This was pretty thick. pretty dangerous, and I'm breezing through it. No deaths, no struggles, no bad times, only good times. Only happy days, no sad days. We got the Fonz up in this bitch. We're at the Cheers Cafe. We're at Central Perk. Yeah, we're just having a good time. I think I dated myself right there. If you ever had any doubts that I'm an old fucking man, I just solved them doubts just now. I'm a bit concerned about Path of Exile too. Bit concerned about Path of Exile too. TGG's only really got one game under their belt, so in this instance, it would be Fate. There's not enough evidence to guarantee that POE 2 is gonna be a banger. TGG just doesn't have enough development experience under their belt. I mean, sure, it's gonna be better than Diablo 4. I'm almost positive it can be better than Diablo 4. It's guaranteed to be better than Diablo 4 at Diablo 4's launch, but it's probably going to be better than Diablo 4 when it launches, and then Diablo 4. Oh, I was just talking about not dying, and then I got a death. I don't know how or what it came from, but I did catch myself a death. It probably came from this map being nasty. So I can't talk shit about not dying. Who gives a shit about death? Oh, another great thing about this whole setup, and why I've had such a hard time getting away from using the power charge setup. First off, I bought all the gear for the power charge setup. Secondly, Frostblink is amazing with a lot of charges, and void batteries. I bet it was damage over time. I bet I got hit by some damage over time. Yeah, it was probably my Shenron. But having the Frostblink with this much cooldown is it's just great. It's really nice for mapping. Really nice for just blinking around, having a good time. I'm Abraham blinking up in this bitch. Get that coinage. I don't know why. I'm never ever gonna actually go through and do all that shit. So I am low on currency, so if I wanted to build, I got like 3 more builds in my head that I want to do. I'm not sure I will. Not sure I will. I got a lot of other things going on in the life, so it's a bit difficult to dedicate the time to do these builds. I am so damn curious on how they will turn out. One of them, I bought this helmet. It was 1 divine, so I pick it up. I do that a lot. I'm just like searching around for shit. I'll do like +1 to maximum power charges, unique helmets, and I'll just search. And I got a new helmet I want to try out. It's this guy right here. This helmet, this bad boy, that guy. 1 divine for a +1 to maximum power charges. And this does +1 to the level of all minion skills. Minions have the same number of endurance, frenzy, and power charges as you. Minions count as having the same number of endurance, frenzy, and power charges as you. So, because I don't really know how this is gonna work. I don't know if this is going to consider them being at maximum power frenzy and absorption charges, because the absorption charges would be pretty lit if they have energy shield. I don't think they'll have energy shield. I'm not sure how that's going to work. So the absorption charges might be kind of lame, but I might be able to do brutality charges with the minions and switch out to the brutality belt. I'm going to lose +1 to maximum power charges, but then I'm going to get brutality charges, which is triple damage on minions. And I might pop that bad boy with my little mace that I got going on here. Very awkward mace. It's a physical mace, but it also has ice damage. Works great for me because I use Ice Bite support, and I'm a physical ice hybrid for the most part. So I might use this mace with Dominating Blow. And I've always kind of liked Dominating Blow because it's a minion build, but it's also a melee build. You get to get up in people's face, and you get to hit them in the face. With minion builds, a lot of time you're hanging out in the back like a little bitch, and I'm not a little bitch. I want to get up in the mix. I want to get up in the mix and fuck shit up. So Dominating Blow is a nice little build that allows you to get into the mix to fuck shit up. I'm not even gonna identify it. I don't even care what it's gonna say to me. Don't even care. I'm just gonna wreck shit with an unidentified man. So I'm a wild man. And this helmet's pretty great. Pretty great little helmet. Just keeping your rage up. Now obviously there's way better helmets, and I've ruined my good helmet. I had this helmet that had +1 power charges, and it was rolled excellently. And I was curious if I can add an Eldridge mod to the helmet, right? It had a +1 power charge on the... I don't want to go there. I changed my mind. Had a +1 power charge on it, and I was just curious. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I thought it would air out like a synthesis mod. You have those synthesis mods that when you try to apply an Eldridge implicit, it won't override it. But it totally overrode it. I mean, it kind of gets the job done. It does work. It's a lot of work. And if you're in the thick of it and you're getting hit with elemental damage, you're going to get those absorption charge up for your energy shield. And it's pretty nice. It basically negates the Shimmeron debuff, and it charges up your energy shield. Great. Great, great, great. It's a really good combo. The Shimmeron and the belt. Man, I have really pumped up this map for a lot of damage. No one wants a synthesized stud bell. I could put that. I don't have it this league. I had it last league. The Frost Bomb that does. It's really slow and it blows up really big. That would be pretty nice too, because you're just kind of triple orbing. And you really want to just be busting nuts on either really big packs that take a long time to clear out, or bosses. Really where you're going to be struggling. And that big Frost Bomb might be kind of nice for bosses to hit a big old beefy hit on. Some alternate helmet choices that are going to be a little bit more expensive, obviously. You can do a yellow rare crafted one. That's going to be excellent. If you have a mirror, you can get one of them double power charge helmets, which is going to be stellar. Crown of the I got this helmet from Sirius. That helmet's pretty badass for this. But getting one with a high life and energy shield roll and +1 of power charges is basically a dream with this low player count. There's just not a lot of people running serial and then hitting those helmets with corruption. I bet 19% is the highest life percent you could find on POE trade right now for that helmet. So that helmet would be probably better than this rage helmet. But again, the movement speed is really nice. Like, look how quick I am for having a 0% movement speed boot. And it's pretty nice. I enjoy playing this build. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast while playing this build. And all the builds that I'm having a blast playing, I like. There's some builds that are obviously way better than this. Like if you're playing some kind of fucking trap build, but you don't want to be the guy that plays the trap build, right? That's like admitting that whenever you play Path of Exile, you take your balls and you stick them under your butt, and then you bounce until you get that little tum-tum ache. And no one wants to admit that that's what I'm doing right now. And so I don't want to play trap builds for that reason alone. And this is like a triple nut build, and you know, I like that. I watched Total Recall. I understand the appeal of having 3 of something instead of 2 of something. So, you know, I fuck with it. Man, did it drop these, oh, that wasn't, what was that? Oh, I thought it was I thought it was a tier 17, but I like this better. Let's actually run it. Let's identify it. Yeah, let's run it. I don't remember what the Chimera is. Does he have his own map? Or is it, yeah, I think he has his own map. Ugh, my stomach hurts for some reason. Oh yeah, this was a nice one. Look how thick that is. This juice. And I have Beyond. And Beyond is really cool because it's like, you pop it up, you kill the enemies, and you got these orbs on the ground. And then the Beyond spawns, and then the orbs hit those guys too. It's a Slicky Ricky. And if you really don't like dying, you just replace this Shamaran with a Void Battery, and you'll die much less because your energy shield will be topped off almost the entire time. Oh man, this is fun. It was able to add a bunch of density to a bunch of these maps. So T16s are actually in a really nice state. It's just when you're running T16s, for whatever odd reason in your mind, it's like, oh, you should be running T17s, but T17s suck and are not fun. Great for loot. You roll that shit right on the T17, and you're gonna get some insane loot shit. Kill the fat man pretty quickly there. So much juice, so much thickness. Should put my headhunter back on. My 5 divine headhunter. It'll be interesting if next league headhunter, because obviously they're gonna undo all this fucking madness that they threw in here, and hopefully they don't do it again and they learn their lesson and they're like, oh, people like league mechanics that actually have fucking bosses and enemies and interesting things to play instead of just sitting in a fucking useless cemetery throwing bodies in the ground that don't even turn into a badass amalgamation of bodies and a boss. Or something they could have just put in a crafting bench. Because the real fix to this entire league mechanic is actually kind of similar to what they did with Harvest. There's a lot of parallels to this in Harvest. It's just Harvest was amazing and this is dog shit. But they can just remove the entire cemetery, have a crafting bench with a list of all of your bodies, make every body auto pickup, and you can pick up infinity bodies. You just pick them all up automatically, just like you do with the resource material for the expedition league. You pick up the bodies automatically. Then you go to your crafting bench, and the bodies are listed in alphabetical order, and then you have, obviously, the standard filters, but there'll be 4 extra filters for humanoid, beast, and whatever those body types are. And you just click a little checkbox on whatever bodies you want to include on your craft. It's doing the exact same thing as the grave, but instead of running around this stupid grave, dealing with all these stupid fucking bodies, you just click a checkbox and you say, I want my crafts to include these fucking bodies. And then you hit the craft button and it just subtracts 1 from the bodies and it makes your item. And it has memory, so it's going to memorize your checkbox selection. So if you're trying to craft the like a triple LE claw, you click the checkboxes on all the bodies that you have, and then you don't have to re-click those checkboxes until you get your weapon and you want to run a new crafting. That would be amazing. I think that would have turned the entire table on this league. Then the only really downside of this league would have been the implementation of the T17s. That would have been the only real downside. And I guess for hardcore players, the fact that you can't turn off the league, a button to turn off the league would be probably the best thing they could do for the league. But I don't think GGG wants to admit that their league is so bad that turning it off would make the game better. I mean, they all know it's true. And they likely knew it's true before the league was out, because they probably spent all of their time on quality of life changes, which is a great thing. I mean, the quality of life changes this league have been excellent. Now, let's just use Frost Bomb. Let's see what Frost Bomb is doing. We got a bomb. Boosh. I don't really use Frost Bomb ever. Boosh. Boosh. That's kind of cool. Now let's only use next map. I'm gonna run one more map. You kind of get it. You get a feel for the build, right? Everyone sees how it plays. It's quick. It's bally. It's nutty. It's spherical. It's round. It's Rasengan. It's Chidori. It's all that. It's everything you want in a certain spherical type build base, right? It's Hellraiser. I got snakies on my head. It's all the good. It's good. Unless you want to build that does a lot of damage, doesn't die, and then can do bossing. You know, unless that's like one of your requirements. It's pretty good. Are you frozen, buddy? Are you bro? Are you frozen? You having struggles. You having some problems here, Mr. Frozen man. Aww. Cannot be fully slowed. I disagree. You look fully slowed to the fucking ground. Here, wake up, boy. Where is he glitched? I think he's glitched. That's a glitch I hadn't seen before. Alright. I'm gonna take him off just to avoid the temptation of casting. Man, I was talking all that shit about my internet, and I think I intimidated it. It's all scared now and just working well. Let's see what we got here. The Frost Bomb, let's toss you to the side. Hydrosphere. Whoa, I don't want to take that whole helmet off. Hydrosphere, let's toss you off. And let us do just Void Sphere. We're going to do another T16. I got a bunch in my... Ooh, Burial Chambers. That boss is a dick. Let's fight that boss. Less effect of curses. Cooldown. Yeah, that's fine. Not my fault. Let's go back in this map. There was something I forgot to get in here. There we go. I picked it up. I didn't click on that on accident like I do almost every fucking map. That's a me thing. I don't really pay attention to where my mouse is. My eye can only focus on like one point, so I keep my focus on my body instead of where my mouse is. So my mouse is just in my peripheral vision, so my click accuracy is super low. And I don't really know how to fix that in my elderly state. I just don't have the ability to maintain focus on like 5 objects at once. Because when you're playing this game, you gotta focus on where your mouse is so you know your spells are gonna be cast. Then you gotta focus on your feet to pay attention to damage over time. And if you're not playing music, I'm usually playing music, but I didn't really feel up to, you know, get my playlist going. So we're just listening to some sound effects here. But if you're not playing music, you have the audio cues, which give you another thing you gotta pay attention to, so you don't necessarily have to look at your feet. I just wish there was an audio cue for when you're taking dot damage. That would really help me out in this game a lot, and I don't think it would be detrimental. Like, whenever you're standing on damage over time, if it just went that'd be great. Then I know I'm on damage over time and I need to fucking move. Because 95% of the time I'm on dot damage, I don't know. I don't know until I'm dead. And then also there's the life pool over here. There's just a lot you gotta focus on. So I find it better that I don't keep my attention where my mouse is, and I keep my attention on my character. So my mouse is just kind of peripheral, and I can just, you know, kind of just see it out of the corner of my eye where it's at. Like right now I know it's at the bottom right, now it's up at the top right, now I know it's over to the left. And it's just kind of like ultra instinct with my mouse instead of, you know, actually following where it's at. So this is just Void Sphere. It's clean in house. It works all by itself. You don't need the other two things. This is just this is a really good skill. I like it a lot. It's just a ball of hate. Just throw a ball of hate there. It just needs more AoE, and it needs better suck power. Its suck power sucks. That's one thing Diablo 3 has done way better than this game. I don't know about Diablo 4, because Diablo 4 isn't as good as Diablo 3. But when you're playing something like a monk, that monk has that skill that sucks up all the enemies. And I think the barb has one. There's a bunch of different enemies that have skills that suck up all the enemies into a tight little ball where you can do damage over time. And this build's trying to do that, but it doesn't work well. It really needs to suck that shit hard. It just slowly pulls them, which I feel is cucked out. It's all cuckarookie. And you don't want that cuckarookie. You want the real deal. You want that good, not the cuckarookie. And this just ain't it. It's still really cool, and if you can actually hear the sounds, that would be auditorially pleasing. You can't really hear the sounds. Like, I should just get rid of the increased area of effect and see, maybe increased area of effect doesn't even really work on it. It kind of feels like it doesn't really work on it. I thought I already put that down. I like to do them at the same time. I like to stack up the content. My favorite is when you can do one of these big bombs. You do the Legion and you do the Breach, and you hit them all at the same time with your fucking massive bodies that you're taking to the floor. It's a really good time. The Atlas is probably the best it's ever been, and the fact that you got a triple stack, oh, it's so good. Quality of life is so good. There's a bunch of other ones. I've already forgotten them all. I didn't learn any of the hotkeys for trading mass currency, though. I'm gonna learn that next week. Those are the type of things, because I'm an old man, you know, and I don't put a lot of effort into shit. I'm super, super lazy. Learning something, when I've been doing something, I don't know, I've been playing the game like 5 years now. I've been doing it the way I've been doing it for 5 years. To learn new shortcuts to handle currency, that's going to be something I have to deliberately practice and keep conscious. Maybe put up a fucking sticky note that has the instructions on how to mass select currency and then do a whole day of trading, so I can memorize that. Okay, let's get to the boss. Hit him with the mark. This is probably one of the tougher bosses that you can fight in this game, and he went down without much of effort. Without much effort, and went down. And I didn't even have a couple of my heralds up. I don't know why I didn't have a couple of my heralds up, but they went up. I lost a bit of damage to that entire time. Woo! Ah, so fucking cool. I love this skill. I love it. It's really good. Really good. It just, a little bit of improvements to the AoE make it suck a lot better. It just doesn't suck enough, right? Make it suck a little bit better, and you have a banger of a skill that would be totally meta. In fact, I think this is meta. Like, no one's using it, but it's meta-worthy. That's just my opinion, and it might be a bad opinion, right? But I think it's meta-worthy. I think it's excellent. I think it's really nice, very effective, and listen to it. I mean, my guy's gotta scream. And then it's like a fucking black hole, and my mind's been tripping out on black holes. Like, the concept of a black hole is it sucks everything in it, right? And then the black hole grows, and it absorbs light, absorbs everything, and then the black hole is just perpetually growing, real slowly, like, but it is growing, bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when you think about our universe, right? Our universe is constantly expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So what if we're inside a motherfucking black hole, and the edge of the observable universe is the event horizon of the black hole, and we just don't even know it, right? There's just so much shit we don't even know, and we'll never know. But that's the end of this video. I'll leave you with that one, give you some existential dread that we're living in a black hole, following other planets that we don't even know about. The build's pretty lit. I like it a lot. If you can get rid of this ring here and put 2 unique rings in, it could be a full unique build, which is also very nice and also very handy. Let's go ahead. I mean, I didn't really talk about my tree. I've done so many of these other builds using this exact same tree, so it's nothing special. If you really wanted to pump it up, you can grab, I think it's a very large Watcher's Eye, and you can grab these 2 nodes here with that very large Watcher's Eye and save yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nodes, which is quite a bit of nodes. That's a whole nother cluster jewel you could pop in here. What else could you do? You can handle your mana a little bit better. Right now I'm grabbing both of these bad boys, getting this 12% mana reservation efficiency, and then I'm grabbing this one for the mana on kill. You can do something better about your mana and save 5 points there. You can avoid doing the heralds. I really like the heralds because the heralds are piggybacking off of this guy right here, which gives me +1 to power charges, which is huge when you have 4 different types of I'm coughing on my existence. When you have 4 different types of charges, this is just huge. I love it. Really nice. And I really like this belt too, getting the absorption charges, because having this charge up your energy shield is super good. Maybe this guy's not so good, the trader, but I really like having my flash just constantly popping all the time. It's super hot. Alchemist Genius, that's pretty nice. It's just pretty well rounded. It's just pretty well rounded. I think a physical cluster jewel might be better, but I really like Sadist, and I do really like Prismatic Heart. It gives me that +10 to all reds, which is pretty important, and the 30% increased elemental damage, and then this guy is just a bucket of damage, because I'm doing all of those bad boys right there. Now, if you really wanted to modify it a little bit, you can get rid of this Badge of Brotherhood, switch yourself over to some different class, and then use Yoke of Suffering. Because you're doing so many elemental types, really wouldn't be that hard to add a little bit of poison to this bitch. And you're already shocking, freezing, igniting, and then you do some shenanigans to get Scorch and Shock, and Scorch, Sap, and Brittle. And you can just do a ton of damage with Yoke of Suffering if you really wanted to go that route. But this is the route I'm going. Let's go into some POB. Let's build it out in Path of Building. I'll try to do it quickly here. Import, start. We don't want Mommy's little corpse fucker, because we didn't even get to fuck corpses. All we gotta do is put them in. We're grave tender. We're fucking custodians. We're graveyard custodians. We don't get to fuck the bodies. I want to fuck shit. Red shirt cyclone is what we're doing. I only did a couple of cyclone builds, so the name is not very accurate. Let's go to skills. I didn't put the other ones on, damn it. So we're just gonna see. I guess it wouldn't be too hard. Hard. Let's do Hydrosphere. I just want to do it with just Hydrosphere. And added chaos damage. They're telling me that is. These never really work very well. What did I have in here? Ice Bite powered. Let's do Awaken added light. No. Let's do Awaken added cold damage with a +1 on that thing. So that way it adds a +1 to the it's gonna add +1 to bite, ice bite, and Hydrosphere. And let's pretend it's at 20 quality. I don't think the quality does in that. And let's pretend I bought a level 21 Hydrosphere instead of at level 20. Include that in the deeps. We got the Void Sphere. We're including that in the deeps. Anything I want to pump up here? Nah, let's pretend I bought a level 21 Void Sphere as well. I didn't, but we can pretend, right? We'll give it the maximum power, and let's pretend that this is level 5. Why not? It's not, but we can pretend. We all live in a world of pretend sometimes. Alright, now let's go to oh, no. Let's pop all these flasks. These flasks are always up. Let's just live in a land of delusion. With Phil Collins and Disturbed. I know, it's land of confusion, but confusion and delusion are real close. I do have Arcane Surge. I do have Alchemist Genius. I do have 50 Rage. I am leeching. A flask is active. I don't know if I'm on Consecrated Ground. I have crit recently. I have killed recently. I've done all of these. I have done that as well. I've blinded. I've burned. I've ignited. I've chilled. I've frozen. I've shocked. Let's do a 10% on that shock. None of that. Then let's put it on Guardian Pinnacle. So we're looking at about a 80 mil. 80 mil. That's fine. You don't need more than 8 million damage, right? I mean, just pop that out there. Biggity bam, biggity boom. 80 million damage. EPS is 42,000. Real low. Some of that's on that chaos, right? My chaos resistance is pretty trash. Elemental is good. Physical is great. That chaos is rough. So if we could just resolve that chaos, we get a lot more damage. And also, let's see what some of this kind of does, right? Let's pretend, live in this land and pretend that we got a few extra points just to give, let's give some life right here, right? Boom. That EPS just kind of skyrocket as you get a little bit more life. Okay, it didn't really skyrocket because I had chaos resistance, but you can see that the life, my low life count is really pretty detrimental to this build in terms of its survivability. Couple tweaks, you could really pump this bad boy up. This is super awkward to go down this route to get these crit nodes. They're not really that important, especially because of the Shim Shim Shamaron. But I really like this. Hits have 25% chance to treat enemy monster resistance as inverted for several reasons. But when I'm running red buff, it'll give them plus fire resistance, and then you run them blue buff, it'll give them plus cold resistance, and this completely negates that for the most part, right? You're going to get that 25% chance to reverse it, and it's just going to hit them so hard. And for lightning damage, that's going to result in a big shock, and for cold, you're going to get a big old freeze on that bad boy. So I really like this node, and giving 25% fire, 25% cold, pretty great. And this is also a 16 banger on this cold damage, where a lot of time they're 12s, and a 16 banger is pretty great. So this is a pretty good little node, and that's why I'm going down there and grabbing it. If you want to get cray cray, you can get these energy shield suppression for spells, but I feel it's unnecessary with the amount of regeneration I have and the fact that I have absorption charges. I don't feel it's necessary. But if you want to get tank, you know, if you fix your mana, you can get rid of these mana nodes here, and then just go directly into spell suppression. Or you can axe out of all of this, all of that. You can run up this way, and you get multiple curses, apply a second curse, and do some of that curse shenanigans, right? That curse shenanigans is pretty great. Or you can grab that ring that allows you just to apply all curses equal to your power charges. And then I think there's a helmet where you apply a random curse, and you can do that combo if you really want to. There's a lot you can do here, but this is how I like it. Let's go to the calc page, and let's grab our void sphere of rendering. Let's take a look at my damage types. Look at this: physical damage, lightning damage, cold damage, fire damage, chaos damage. We're doing all the damages. It's kind of, I don't think it's quite good enough to do Trinity. I don't think fire is going to be able to keep up with Trinity, but if you wanted to grab a fire node, and you can convert you just grab one of these fire nodes, and you can convert some of your fizz damage to fire. That'll solve that problem if you really wanted to use some Trinity action. Anyways, that is the build. Let me import and export this bad boy before I forget. Share, copy, put that into my notepad++. Stop the video before I open it, because there might be sensitive notes in my notepad++. Check y'all's later. Hey guys, Elden Ring's coming out, right? If you don't play Elden Ring, you know, toast your bath. That's all I gotta say.